All right. We are live with the Celtics Live postgame show. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, get in the chat, and we'll talk some Celtics here. The energy level right now is at... we're riding on empty right now. The second night of a back-to-back. Stayed up, way past my bedtime, only to watch a game that made me, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed in this team. It was just like such a really good teams don't lose those games regardless of who you have injured. And I'm sure we're going to talk about all of that. But, it's I feel like you still want to beat up on these teams. And these teams, I just mean teams that you can beat even without Kemba, even without Smart. But I guess we have to keep that in mind, that we didn't have two of our most crucial guys. But nonetheless, I think the Celtics did a lot to piss that game away. Like, let's not forget, there's multiple times during that game when the Celtics were just in complete control, and all of a sudden that just went right down the drain. So let's just jump into the box score, and then we'll get to some of the chat here. But I don't know how long we're going to be live tonight. We'll try and make it a decent chunk, but second night of a back-to-back for all of us, too. And, appreciate everyone tuning in so late. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock right now. Pretty cool that I'm seeing that. Not that you care about that. Let's get into the box score. All right, so looking at this, again, it was, I don't know if I said this yet, 111 Celtics, 116 Kings. Jayson Tatum with 27 almost had his first triple-double. He had 10 assists and 9 rebounds. Not the best game from him, but I think, he probably would be the best player on the Celtics to consider tonight. So he had 27, 10, and 9, 42% from the field, and then, yikes, 2 of 10 from 3. Jaylen Brown was behind him with 21 points, 4 assists, 3 boards. Not the best shooting night for him either, 38 and 33 percentages-wise there. The only other guy I really want to call out, I guess, would be Tristan Thompson. I think that might be the best Tristan Thompson we've seen so far. 17 and 10 from him, and I have no clue, really, why he just stopped playing. I don't understand that. I don't know if it would have impacted the game. I think it could have helped, because I think that the Kings actually got a few offensive rebounds and just rebounds overall late in the game, so I guess that could have helped him playing. I don't know why he didn't play. If someone knows that, is privy to that information, please let me know, because I'm not sure why Tristan Thompson was balling out, and then it's like, nope, see you later, pal. Let's move over here, because a couple of the things to note here. 26 points from Fox. Halliburton with 21 and 24 from Barnes. That box score, just immediately the bigger numbers jump out at you in comparison to the Celtics. But all right, let's get to some chat here. Again, guys, I'm sorry for the energy. I don't know if I'm bringing the heat or the energy today or tonight or this, morning. It's already the next day on the stream. It's I'm pooped. I am pooped, to say the least. Let's get into some chat here. I'm sure it's going to really, really bring the energy and make me so happy. Sergio says, so all those people saying trade Kemba are real quiet tonight. Yeah, this is exactly, and I think we've been preaching it on the stream, why I'm not in the trade Kemba boat. You have a couple rough nights from your two best stars who, they're going to have their rough nights. I'm shocked that a rough night from Tatum is now 27 points just with poor shooting. But you're going to have a rough night, and you need a little bit of scoring. And where does that come? Kemba Walker. And the one thing I'll say is that whole game, I think Jaylen Brown, had a couple stretches where he looked good. Didn't look too good. But when Jayson Tatum wasn't in the game there, it was like, whoa, what do we do with the ball? There's a couple times where the Kings just mounted comebacks because Tatum wasn't in the game. Nate says, just cut Grant at this point. He had Brown and Carson wide open and just held the ball like a turtle. Grant, not the best game from him. I think there's a lot of guys in the same boat as him, though, like Semi Ojeleye, Javonte Green, all these guys that are improved bench players, I think all kind of stunk tonight. Jeff Teague in that boat, too, to me. He didn't really play too well. Grant Williams, I fear that these are the games that we're going to get compared to what we got last night. Is that the case? Time will tell. But, Grant had a couple big shots, or, I think, one big shot, that 3. And then I can't really think of much after that. He had a couple stupid plays. That stupid foul right after making the three. He makes a three, then literally shoves the guy. I watched it, I was like, what the? That's going to be a foul. They blow the whistle, and then he's arguing it. I don't know. It's like, dude, you're riding pretty high after your good game yesterday, huh? That you think you just shove guys on the court and then go to the ref and say, yeah, it's not a foul. Like, no, you're not as good as you think you are. But time will tell with him. PJ says, welp, our point guards couldn't defend or score. Yeah, I had a bone to pick with Tremont Waters. When the Celtics were down by just a few or blowing the lead that they had, I don't remember what it was, but Tremont Waters was like, hey, I'm Kobe Bryant. Let's see if I can score. Dude, what are you doing, Tremont Waters? I get you're trying to make the most of your opportunity, but you have Jaylen Brown, you have Jayson Tatum out there. How about we at least let one of them touch it on the possession? That frustrated me. But again, he's trying to make the most of his opportunities, whatever. Donovan saying, Celtics L on my birthday, off to a great start. Well, happy birthday to Donovan. I wish the Celtics could pull out the dub. Sergio says, would love to have that goaltend back. Clear miss. Kenny says, Celtics 0-1 when Javonte Green thinks he's MJ. Again, why? Who did that? Was it Jaylen? So Jayson Tatum did it last year in the playoffs. Remember with the Bam Adebayo block? Jaylen Brown, I think, did it earlier this year. Javonte Green just did it. Like, why do you think when you need this bucket? Like, I'm saying you need this bucket. It's like, hey, I'm going to try and be on SportsCenter Top 10 and posterize him. Come on. And I said it when we reacted last year in the bubble, right, about the Jayson Tatum being blocked by Bam. If a defender sees you going for a dunk, he knows right where the ball is going. I know that's such a weird way to say it, but you don't get too crafty with a dunk. It's point A, point B, it's going there. If Javonte Green were to try and, take a layup or finish, a revert, anything, the defender still has to kind of try and time and guess where it's going. But you try and dunk on a guy, all he has to do is have the nuts, the cojones, the balls to put his hand there. And I think, who was it? Was it Rashawn Holmes? Did. And then he talked shit on the way down the court, rightfully so. He's probably saying, you dumbass, why did you try and dunk on me in a close game like this? That's probably what he was saying. Veronica's checking in saying, hi, Ev. What's up? Too bad we're not talking about a Celtics win tonight, but thanks for tuning into the stream. Gear saying these kind of games seem to be low energy. I felt that way after Smart missed the floater. That's fair. Yeah. Last year when Smart missed that floater and then he rattled around and then missed. Yeah. I mean, and then you say last year, so you confirm that. Kenny says Celtics 0-1 when Grant Williams can't make the free throws. He did give them a chance at the end there. He missed the free throw, right? And Tatum, I don't know what that was. They had more time than that. I don't know if there was some sort of miscommunication in the time that the Celtics thought, because they could have gotten a better shot. Like Tatum could have even given it to Brown on the wing there. He could have maybe tried to do a little bit more, but it was almost like Tatum was surprised, one, that a defender was that close to him, and two, that he didn't have to shoot that quickly. I don't know. Let's see. Good morning now. After this game, I can't see the team arrive in the finals conference. I think we pumped the brakes on that this team sucks after that game. That's why I started the stream saying I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. No Kemba Walker, no Marcus Smart, no Peyton Pritchard. Bad game from Jaylen Brown. Not the most efficient game from Jayson Tatum. I don't think it's this team sucks level. I think this is very similar to, what was the game? The first Sixers game they lost, where you come on here and you're like, I was right there. Pissed that we lost, but it's not the end of the world. This isn't like a let's go throw up 10 times type of game. This is just disappointing. Like honestly, I'm not worried about this team long term. The biggest thing I'm concerned with, that I stayed up late to watch that game, jump on here, do the stream, all for what? But I do think that it's worth noting that, these type of games, I still think you should win. So to your point here, I'm not ready to pull the fire alarm, but it's not like it's a positive reaction after this game, right? Jay says, missing 2 players or not, we have 2 superstars. Walton outcoached Brad. Yeah, I don't know if I can disagree with it. I don't know about the outcoached part, but again, if this is my take on this season, and it's not against good teams. When you're playing teams like Sacramento, if you have Jaylen and Jayson, you can win the game. Jay says, I think Jaylen was tired. Yeah, he didn't really look into it, did he? Didn't really look into it. Chris says, still need to trade for DeJounte Murray. Depending on the package, I'd take it. I like that kid. AD says, nobody had a good game other than Thompson. Yeah, I think that was That's probably accurate. And I don't know why Thompson just didn't play. Mamba's saying we are ass. I mean, I think that was a back-to-back West Coast type. That was the formula for a loss, right? If we're gonna defend this team to any degree here, it's that you are missing, two of your four best players. Back-to-back West Coast trip. Like it is the formula for a heartbreaking loss there. Kenny saying Celtics are 1-0 and De'Aaron Fox cooks them in a Soulja Boy haircut. Or 0-1. Jordan says Jalen looked gassed. Would have been a good game would be a good game to sit and be fresh for the Clippers. Yeah, maybe. I think he'll be probably fresh for the Clippers, but if he was that gassed, like he didn't contribute too much. But I think they would have got stomped without Jalen, even if he didn't play that well. Chris says, "What's up with Brad Stevens?" Am I gonna do it? I feel like I always try and say I don't want to fire Brad Stevens, and then I get into this long rant about Brad Stevens. I'm not gonna go on the rant, but I will say I feel like, and again, he's got the tall task now of all these guys being injured, figuring out what's going on. I feel like Brad Stevens just isn't like coaching this year. It's like he's turning around, and this could just be me overreacting after a loss, obviously, but it's like he turns around, looks at the bench, and says, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo." And then picks a guy to go in. And then the same thing when they come out. I don't know. I don't know what's up with Brad this year. But and I made this point on Tommy Points. It'll come out tomorrow with me, Color Sports, and Dante on Deck, our podcast. If you don't tune into that, make sure you are. It's all over my Twitter. Go subscribe to that on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the stream on YouTube as well, too. But I made the point that, Brad Stevens, we put him on this pedestal, which is fine. He's a great coach. But, we're watching Jayson Tatum get better. We're watching Jaylen Brown get better. Why can't we have expectations that the coach is going to get better and, progress at things that he lacks in? Why is that so unfair to say? I don't know. It doesn't seem unfair to say for me. Jay says on the same note, I have no idea why Brad went away from Tristan. Yeah, me neither. Kale says, oh, man. Craig says, knowing they're going to foul up 3, why would you have a 50% free throw shooter out there and run a play through him? Craig? That's a question and a half. That is a really, really good question. And Scal, who obviously he says some dumb things, but he says some smart things. He even said it. He goes, they run this play so much when they're down 3. I don't know why a team just doesn't wrap them up. And then, voila. Nonetheless, Grant Williams, to your point, Greg. Thomas saying, not good enough. I know we were on a back-to-back, but not enough positives. We needed this game. We just let it slip away. Most frustrating loss this season. JB is slowing down. JB was tired. I don't want to rag on him, but 2 games in a row, he does seem kind of like off. But I think he's going to be all right. I'm not thinking Jalen's slowing down. But I agree with the, it's not good enough to just say this is back-to-back. So with the Celtics, pretty damn good chunk of losses so far this year. These are the games for morale, for standings, for all that are going to matter. It's not like they have this incredibly good record that, it's like, one loss here, it's not going to matter. They're losing games this year. So these would be nice to have. Gear says, good call by Brad Stevens to get Grant to go to the line. Mama says, bench is so terrible. Yeah, I think and until the team's fully healthy, we're not going to see the true bench, but some of these guys that we're going to need to rely on have just been terrible. AD says Draymond doesn't deserve a roster spot. Yeah, I was like rooting for him in a weird way last year. Now I just think he stinks. Like, I don't think I literally, and again, I guess I'm still rooting for him. I don't hope he, flops out of the league or anything. If he gets another opportunity, sure. But I think he literally is like just not even like a spark plug. Like, you remember when he played last year? He'd go in there and like make a couple hesitations. You're like, oh, this guy's kind of nice. No. Draymond Waters just isn't it. Not that he's even expected to be it, but it's like he is, and I guess they're using a 2-way up on him. You know what I mean? He's a waste of a roster spot to some degree. Greg says, Neesmith, 0 minutes, Halliburton, 21. What did I say yesterday? You did. You said it. 21 points, I know. Kale says, we have to cut the fat. Tired of watching this. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's cutting the fat, right? You gotta add some more lean beef to this meal. It's not necessarily cutting the fat out. You make some cuts from this team, you might even have more problems. They got to add some more lean beef to their diet. Sergio says, everyone talking about Teague's bad play, but Draymond tried to play the whole game by himself. Yeah. I tweeted it out too. I was like, why? And I talked about it on the stream already. Why is Draymond just trying to do things right now? Understand that you're not good and give the ball to Tatum. That's that. I'll say it like that. We already got 100 comments in the stream. This is probably the quickest we've hit 100 comments, so I guarantee you I'm just so far behind these comments. But I got the notification there that we just hit 100 comments. Mama says Jeff Teague is dog shit. I mean, he ain't great. Jay says, Kemba, I'm going to try and fly through some of these comments to catch up, guys. Let's see. Kemba wouldn't have been able to stop Fox. Guys would have just cut and would have been a negative on D. I don't know. I think Kemba would have scored. I'm not saying Kemba Walker would have been an addition for defense. Kemba Walker definitely could have helped that game. Greg says, can Danny actually look at this ass bench and think we're good and that they're sufficient? I don't know. It seems like he's been doing that for a couple of years. Gear says, hopefully this game is a wake-up call to Ainge to make a move. I hope it is because, again, you have Tatum, you have Brown. Go win this game no matter who's injured. Gears, Jay says, yes, we win with Kemba. Okay, we're on the same page there. So, yeah, I think Kemba obviously would be the defensive liability in this game, but he would score points, which they needed. Jay says he wouldn't stop Fox on defense. He would have been barbecue chicken. Yeah, but Kemba probably would have made a couple of those guys look like barbecue chicken on the flip side. AC says Brad got out coached. Thompson was balling and he takes him out. I don't understand it. Like, was he injured or something? He was on the bench moving around. I don't understand why Tristan Thompson stopped playing. That tells me either Brad Stevens like overthought it, was like, we're going to really mess with him. Or he planned, we've seen it before. Brad Stevens gets these rotations in his head and just kind of sticks to them. Or he planned for Tristan Thompson to barely play at the end of the game, and he just stuck to it, even though the guy was having the best year of his best game of the year. Gear says, yeah, Mater could have played better than our guards today. Yeah, I mean, and I know he's playing, like, we don't really know what he's going to be in the NBA or, in the NBA, right? But I'm confident in saying, you can't get much worse than what we just saw from Draymond. Kale said, and then here's another thing. I think Carson should have gotten a shot today, and he barely played. Like, what is going on with that? Just try him out. Draymond Water is sucking a you-know-what. Why not at least give Carson Edwards a little bit more run? He had played 7 minutes tonight. Like, come on. Mama says, no way Danny didn't make no changes in the offseason. I know. We got bamboozled by a Jeff Teague signing. We thought some of these big current bench guys would get better. Doesn't look like it. Tom says, let's make a move, bring Barnes to Boston. Yeah, what do you guys think of Harrison Barnes? Because I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I definitely don't hate it. I don't know if that's the guy that, is the missing puzzle piece, but I think you'd fit here. I don't know if it puts him over the top, though. Adam says, or Wongy says, might be the first time I ever called Wongy Adam. Relying on Green's dunk in crunch time, that's all I have to say. Yeah, not the best. Jay, how many comments are we behind here? Are we behind a bunch? I'm gonna skip ahead, guys, in comments. I apologize. You guys know I do this rarely. I do try and catch up, but we have so many comments flying in. I'm gonna skip ahead just a little bit so that we can get going here. Veronica's, why did Waters get all those minutes over Edwards? I don't know. I don't like that. I don't understand why, to any degree, Draymond Waters plays over Carson Edwards. Like, if you are looking at these two guys, and just play with me here, if you're looking at these two guys, Draymond Waters and Carson Edwards, which one, if at all, that you want to be a part of your team's future is it? It's not Draymond Waters. It's Carson Edwards. Even if it's by a 1%, why would you not just give him the shot? This is the opportunity. But no, Brad Stevens is like, I like the way Draymond Waters probably facilitates the ball. And then plays him way, way, way too much. 25 minutes? Like, come on. Jay says, bruh, Brooklyn is a juggernaut. Does it even matter? I mean, maybe. I guess you could say no, but you want this team to be as good as possible, because if they go through the rut like this and Brooklyn's the juggernaut, that mindset, right? A couple of years from now, you might think the same exact thing, whereas you should have been progressing and trying to get closer and closer to that juggernaut every year. If you just say, screw it, they're the juggernaut, what's the point? You're going to set yourself up for failure for years to come. J-Mac says the C's let up on the gas every game. Waters and Teague are garbage. Pretty accurate, I think. Sports Chai says the bench no more needs to be said. Yeah, this bench ain't it, guys. Breaking news, it ain't it. AD says, good thing we won't play the Kings in the finals. Jay says, why do we have so many? I don't know if I could. Is that a? I'm not going to say that word. I don't know. I know little people is a term, but I don't know if the M word for for little people is a slur. So, Jay, I'm not going to say it. I'm not throwing you under the bus, and I'm not getting caught saying it. But why do we have so many short point guards? I don't know. I think Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens has some sort of infatuation with them, I guess. I don't know. JMX says Tremont was asked, just keep chucking. Yeah, it's like he was trying to, I get let's make something of the opportunity, right? But then it comes to a point where it's like, dude, are you even there to realize that you're just dwindling down any future opportunities? Like, you're hurting your image right now. I know you're trying to make the most and show what you have, but there's got to be a time where you're like, yeah, that ain't good. I shouldn't be doing this. And I felt like I never got that from Tremont Waters. I don't know. Gear says in the streams we hit the most comments in the losses. Yeah, I mean, we hit 100 comments in like 10 minutes tonight. That's pretty quick. I'll say it here because I see a lot of Periscopes. Jay's in the Periscope. J-Mac, I see a lot of Periscope comments. Guys, head over to the YouTube channel. I just tweeted it out. Subscribe there. Like the stream. And it's not just these streams. We have a pregame show with Jack, Sam, and then KJ's been joining that too. I think Tim goes on that show too. A few great Celtics guys. So we have pregame shows on the YouTube channel. We have other videos as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Jay says Tatum needs to get to the line more. Yeah, he didn't get to the line at all. And that floater's got to go. Just use your long-ass arms and get to the hoop. J-Max says, with this bench, the team will never go anywhere. Ditto, I agree. I think it's enough of trying to rely on Grant Williams, Semi Ojeleye, and, Javonte Green. Like, those guys aren't doing it. Jeff Teague in there, too. Oh my God, no way. Kale is telling me that Stevens just said that he left Thompson out of the game late because of the Kings lineup. So Brad Stevens thinks, let's take the guy that arguably was our best player tonight, but because of the Kings lineup, we're going to leave him on the bench because that just makes sense. It's not like Tristan Thompson had been playing against that lineup for the previous 3 quarters. It wasn't a new Kings lineup that just spawned for the 4th quarter. Oh, that is some BS. I almost, and this is going to sound weird, I almost was wishing Tristan Thompson had some sort of minor injury that would just make sense why he didn't play. But, it was a lineup thing? BS. Give me a break. Oh, yeah, they actually just dressed up, 10 new players for the Kings. We'd never seen them before in the previous 36 minutes. Oh, my God. Gear says, I think Brad Stevens makes the rotations the night before and just completely ignores the game going on. Well, I don't think we can look at any games this year and be like, I'm going to dispute that point. I think you're right, Gear. Jay Cedar says, Tyrese is a stud. Kings got lucky. Yeah, you can tell he's the type of guy that's going to be good, too. He's just long, athletic, explosive. He's going to be good. Kale says, like you said a week ago, you'd be hard-pressed to name a player that doesn't improve our depth. That's the thing, and people kind of, crap on me for when they're like, hey, would you, we just talked about Harrison Barnes, right? Would you like Harrison Barnes? It's like, how could I be like, no. And even just talk about, the smaller name guys. J.J. Redick, Kyle Korver, P.J. Tucker's been brought up. It's like, I'm going to say yes to these names because our bench stinks right now. Why wouldn't I say yes? It's not like you're going to propose a guy's name like J.J. Redick. I'm going to be like, no way. Are you kidding me? J.J. Redick, I got Carson Edwards. Why would I want J.J. Redick? Sergio says, I'm beating a dead horse, but I still take Gordon over Barnes. I think I would too. Jay agrees as well. Thomas says, at the end with the missed free throw, JT got the ball and everyone stops playing, and JB would have been open, but everyone seemed to stop playing. It was weird. That happened at the end of the half too, right? Really weird. Chris says, all these draft picks make me look at Ainge sideways sometimes. I only like Pritchard. Yeah, I mean, Pritchard's sort of saving that draft, right? And I know a lot of people are high on Romeo Langford, whatever he's going to be. But, yeah, guys, if you like the Teddy Celtic, I just realized I'm wearing it. We just restocked these premium stitching and embroidering. Let's get a little close up. This probably isn't going to work. GuyBostonSports.com. You can find it on my Twitter. I just tweeted it out recently. We just restocked these minimally. Every time we've restocked it, they just sell out. It's like I took the chance on releasing a design with a teddy bear wearing a Celtics jersey, and you guys seem to love it. Nick says Carson and Tremont being bad is still better than Teague. I don't know. I think on any given night, those guys are just going to rip you. I'm taking Teague over Tremont, but I would honestly think I'd give Carson the shot at this point over both of them. They all suck on defense. None of them are good passers. Like, why not just give Carson the shot? Because he's got the most upside. AD says, remember when we thought Semi and Teague were good offensively? Back in the good old days. Sam says, Celtics need to figure out how to get some stops down the stretch. They just need to figure out everything down the stretch. Because I think going to the Tatum ISO, as good as Tatum is, those Tatum ISOs down the stretch, I don't know if those are like the go-to move either. Gear says, Celtics have 8 playable players come playoff time, and 3 guys on the bench are point guards and 2 centers. The team desperately needs a wing depth, never mind the holes within this team. Agreed. Greg says, we keep Tremont, Edwards, Green, while Jay Crawford and Corford, guys like that, aren't on teams. Now, the only thing is that those are 2 older guys, right? But, like, I'd still take them. So it's a good point. It's like a guy like Kyle Korver. I'm going to use him as the example because who knows if Jamal Crawford still has it. I'm sure he does. You know what I mean? I'm sure he does. But Kyle Korver is a guy that you literally stand on the wing in the corner and make a 3. That he's going to have that skill till the day he dies. An 89-year-old Kyle Korver is going to be better than Tremont Waters at this point. But hey, let's keep running Tremont. Thomas says, give Brad a break. This year is crazy. No summer league, barely any preseason. Hurt team. He has to play G League stars at the moment. Trust me, Brad's not the problem. I think Brad is part of the problem. I don't think he needs to go anywhere. I think the way we fix the Brad Stevens problem, because I do think it's a problem, Thomas. The way you fix a Brad Stevens problem is Brad Stevens progresses and gets better. Again, why is it so crazy for me or other people to say, you know, Tatum's getting better, Brown's getting better? Why can't we ask the coach to get better? I'm not asking for Brad Stevens to hit the road jack and then we bring in a no-name coach. I just want the coach to get better with the team. And there's been too many times, weird year or not, too many times when it's like, what are you doing, dude? You know, it's like there's too many times this year where all of a sudden the attention goes towards the coach, and that's not a good sign at all. So I think I'm not saying he's the problem, Thomas, but he's part of the problem. 100%. 100%. I think if this team had a little bit more of a motivator, like say you take everything that Brad Stevens has and throw a little bit of Doc Rivers or a little bit of, dare I say, like a little bit of Nick Nurse in there, a little bit. Let's be careful now. All of a sudden you have a guy that's probably hyping up team up a little bit more, motivating them a little bit more, and I think it would go a long way. Again, it's just one man's opinion, but I think it would help. Gear, actually, AD says, if we love small guards so much, sign IT. Seriously, and all the people, IT's 50% of what he was. Okay, then he'll come in and score 50% of the points that he had, which would still be like 15 points, which is more than any of these other jamokes. Give IT the chance. If it doesn't work out, you're back to square one. What was the harm? Gear says, Brad isn't the problem, but he isn't helping solve it. He needs to improve with the team. Boom. Me and Gear are always on the same page here. Jay says, if I have I don't know if you offended anyone, Jay. Don't worry. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to. Don't worry. I think you're in the clear, but I think you're good. Dean says, frustrating loss. It was. Floormat says, Celtics not going to make the playoffs. I mean, that's a hot take. I think they'll make the playoffs. Are they going to go deep in the playoffs? Not if they keep playing like this, and not if they're not going to stay healthy like this. Dean says, too much Waters and Grant can't be on the floor to end games. Agreed. Raisin says, at this point, I would pay teams to take Teague, Javonte Green, and Grant Williams. JMX says, love the show, bro. Thank you very much for tuning in. We go live after every single Celtics game, guys. We do our best here. I know we're behind in the comments tonight, but hey, it is what it is. When the comments come in and start rolling in, it's like a double-edged sword, you know? Or I don't even know if that's the right analogy. But I love that we're getting so many comments, but it sucks that the stream's growing and whatnot, that all of a sudden I'm behind and not able to catch up. But, you know, it is what it is. I got to do my best here. And I probably, you know, have like a second grade reading level when it's past 1 a.m. All of a sudden, all the knowledge goes out the window. And I get on stupid rants like this that all of a sudden comments are flying in and I'm just here talking about nothing. That's probably the real reason. Greg says the comment from Stevens just shows how overrated he is. Like, what excuse is the Kings lineup? Yeah, it's a terrible. That actually, I might just be like, you know, bursting out here, but that's one of the worst Brad Stevens sort of excuses, or one of the worst looks for Brad Stevens I think that we've had since he's been here. Saying I didn't play the guy that had 17 points, was one of the only guys in the plus for plus minus on your team tonight. 17 points, 10 rebounds, 7 of 9 from the floor, I didn't play him because of the matchups. But, during that game, he also was doing it against those guys, regardless of what the lineup was. Bull. Dean says, should have ended with Tyson TT on the floor. Agreed. Nick, can't waste these Jalen years. Have to upgrade in some spots. See, so there's I agree, but I don't think you're wasting these years. Like, the Jalen and Jason Golden years are still a couple years away, right? Now, obviously, it'd be good to maximize the year, so I'm agreeing with you. Upgrade some spots, but I don't want us to think that this is a win-now team, and, like, a few years from now, it's, like, blown opportunity. I mean, they'll have their chance, but where I agree is it's like, well, we're in a unique situation where this could be like a long window for Jayson and Jalen, and we're not doing much right now. Brad outsmarts himself too much, like the dude, just down the obvious. Raisin says, not to overreact, but I'd pay teams to take Jeff Teague and Graham Williams. I think I read that already. My bad. Kale says, it's a bad mix for Brad. You can see him testing who will make an impact, and no one does. Rocking a hard place. That's true. I think I said that a couple streams ago, right? I was like, I understand that the hand and the team he's being dealt ain't the best, so whatever. Veronica says Brown was open and Tatum should have gave it up instead of forcing a doubled, and Green tried to slam it instead of easy layups. Cost us. Yep, I think it's accurate. Jalen coming off on the wing there, I think could have gotten a shot there, but I think Tatum thought there was less time on the clock, to be honest, because he looked like he was about to jump up into a shot immediately, and then he was like kind of surprised. Gear says, I don't get it. Ainge is too scared to trade seconds for PJ Tucker, but we'll draft them. We'll draft little point guards with them. Yeah, I don't get it either. Veronica says Tatum looked at Brown and decided to force it. Yeah, I didn't see him look at it, but I guess, yeah. I mean, I agree with you that Brown probably should have gotten that ball because he was open where Tatum was just smothered. If Brad doesn't get it done by year 10, sign Chauncey Billups. 8 years of Brad already. I know. How much of a leash does Brad Stevens have? Even as people that love Brad Stevens, I feel like you got to put some sort of expectation, right? I don't know. This is from Chris. We need Miami scouts. Imagine if we had Duncan Robinson and Precious Achiuwa. I mean, Duncan Robinson, as much of a DB that, we might think he is, but he is just filthy. Like, that guy's nails. Nails. You put him on the team, it's like, wow. If you sign Chauncey, you voice the energy of players, former Celtic. I think I would like a Chauncey Billups coach, but I'm not ready to give up on Brad yet. Kale says if Pritchard is healthy, Tremont, Teague, and Edwards won't get any minutes. Yeah, I know, but he hasn't been healthy, right? So it's like, I agree that, we're harping on that, but I said this and I'm going to say it again. Pritchard could come back and could be a shell of what he is, not because of the injury, but because we had a small sample size, and I don't like the idea of relying on a rookie. I'm going to say that over and over again. No matter how good the rookie is, if you have to rely on the rookie for your bench to be somewhat, capable, then you are setting yourself up for, deeper in the season or playing veteran teams, possible failure. Greg says, where's Luigi Datome when you need him? Bring him back. Gear says, I'm at the point where I would take Jonas Jerebko back on this team. I don't know. I mean, I guess he's probably a decent sort of, stretch four type of, I don't know. I know what you're saying, but I don't know. AD says, can we convert Evan Turner back into a player? That I would take. Veronica says, Chris, all these draft picks we hit back to back on top threes. Yeah, it's true. I mean, but and I'm going to give him credit because he traded back to get Tatum, drafted Brown when people booed him for doing it. Like, I know people are like, oh, well, easy to hit on the top 3 picks. But Danny Ainge did sort of like work those out perfectly. So I'm going to give Danny credit there, but I will also entertain the idea of, well, it's a top 3 pick. Like, how hard can it be? But I do think I lean more towards the side of, well, there's a lot more in those top 3 picks than meets the eye. A few more comments here, guys. I know I'm behind. I'm just going to skip ahead. If I'm missing your comments, just feel free to ask them again. But I got to get to sleep at some point tonight. We're going to probably have a shorter stream. And we're already, half hour in? Usually we're going for an hour. I don't think we're making an hour tonight. So just a few more comments. Make sure you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Periscope right now, head over to YouTube. I tweeted out the link. Subscribe to the channel. We got more than just a stream here, and I go live after every single Celtics game if you're new and you want to tune in. We're skipping ahead in the chat. And, again, just ask you again if I miss your comment. But skipping ahead randomly, Thomas says, I would say Danny is more of the problem than Brad. Not good enough. Let stars go for nothing. And now we got G League stars playing critical minutes. I think you can't say that Danny Ainge isn't the problem either. So I'm with you. More of the problem, I don't know. I think Danny Ainge builds the team, right? But I think there's a lot, just like, at least to my eye, that Brad Stevens could do to get the most out of these guys. Because I feel like he sometimes isn't even getting the most out of the good guys on his team. Like, did you guys know, because I didn't, that Jaylen Brown was playing in the fourth quarter? Like, Jaylen Brown just going and sitting in the corner because we have Tatum iso ball. You know what a coach can say? Hey, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this, and this is a better offense than just giving Tatum the ball and saying, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? So I think the immediate change could be, Brad Stevens progressing as a coach too. But Danny Ainge definitely has some fault to bear here just in building the team. Aram says, what did Brad Stevens say? He pretty much said he didn't play Tristan Thompson because he didn't like the matchups, which is complete BS. Raisin says, I think the Celtics will eventually figure it out, but we should start a petition for Ainge to make some trades. I mean, he's seen it. He's all over Twitter. He knows. He's seen it all, and I don't know why he doesn't pull the trigger. At least just please the fan base, dude. Let's see. Gear says, I still don't forgive Ainge for trading Desmond Bane. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the guys we have now and how has it worked out, I think, you look around the league and say, okay, they might be, that's a guy that might be able to contribute, might be a little bit better than some of the bench guys we have. Dean says, we can't lose sight that we didn't play without Kemba and Smart. Don't panic. Yeah, I'm not panicking. I think I started the stream saying, like, I'm like the disappointed parent, not the mad parent. But I think playing this Kings team, you have Jayson and Jaylen. I think that's good enough to beat this team. And I think they showed it's good enough. They just didn't come through with it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not like worried long term. I'm just saying there's some issues that we can call out, Veronica's saying, good night, everyone. Good night, Veronica. Yeah, guys, I mean, I'm not going to be going here much longer, but I appreciate everyone tuning into the stream. We will get to some of these comments, but bad look for me in the I read all comments narrative tonight because we had a lot of them. So shout out to you guys for the comments. But I'm not able to get to all these. I am flying through them still, but we're only going to stay live for a few more minutes here. Make sure you like this stream if you're on YouTube. Do it right now. Last time we had 100 people in here, and I looked after the fact and we had 7 likes on the stream. Tisk, tisk. Let's see. Kale says, I feel like Brad is treating the first third of the season as a preseason. I don't really think he's taking these games seriously so that he can figure out what roles he can actually be. I mean, I just don't agree with that then. I think, no, I agree that you are right, but I don't agree with the approach, if that's the case. I really don't. Raisin says, what right now, which player do you want most in the Celtics? People have been throwing Aaron Gordon's name at me. It almost feels like I'm in that camp now. I like him. I think that, you can get him for a decent price because I just feel like he's completely on the block, and I think that he's a guy that is good right now but can also grow. So I'm in that camp. Here we go. Jay, it's not a stream without you saying this. Danny could have had Desmond Bane and Brandon Clark Payne. Aram says Kings team is better than expected. It is. That is a better team than we expected, but I still think the Celtics are better. That's my whole thing. I'm not like up in flames about that loss, trust me, but they could have won that game. When do you think Tatum is ready to be an MVP? Probably 3 years. Like, I think he's ready right now, but other guys in the league are ahead of him. Does that make sense? Like, Tatum's putting up numbers and putting up games that would kind of qualify for MVP, but guys, like, look tonight, 27, 10, and 9. That's incredible. But there's guys in the league that are just doing astronomical things right now, and I think that that's sort of preventing him a little bit. All right, last comment here. Sergio says, need to get someone to take the load off the Jays when you were looking at the bench. That's just putting more pressure on them. Yeah, I think, there's ways to look at it. You get another star, all of a sudden you can take the load off the Jays. You don't have to worry about the bench as much, but if you build the bench up, all of a sudden, you can rely on the bench a little bit more, especially if they're veterans. And then you just have the fact that, if they're healthy and if we are healthy as a whole team, because, I'm the starting point guard of the team, if the Celtics are healthy, it changes the bench schematic because all of a sudden you have guys like Smart and Tristan Thompson off the bench, which is like, whoa, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? But, all right. We're going to close down shop there, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. Short one. I say short one, and we're only 15 minutes shorter than normal. It's still a 40-minute stream, but it is late. I'm ready to go to sleep. I know it's a loss. Sucks. But either way, I see Sergio says you meant this bench we have now. Sorry, I guess I misunderstood that. It's late. I'm trying to read these comments. The brain cells are going out the window as we speak. But anyways, thank you guys very, very, very much for tuning into the stream. As always, subscribe to the channel, like this stream. We are here live after every Celtics game, even if it's at 1 a.m. But I'll catch you guys in the next stream. Hopefully we're looking at some dubs sometime soon, because it tasted so good beating the Warriors and immediately back in the loss column. I don't like that. But I'll catch you guys in the next